IEM Dallas came to a close over the weekend, and we actually got some pretty cool storylines. Most importantly, we got to witness one of the greatest throwback performances in the history of CSGO from the hungry man himself, Snax. The 28-year-old was only supposed to be a last-minute stand-in for Ence, but he ended up stealing the show and was the highest-rated player for the team overall. Let's dive into how we got here. Okay, I think it's fair to say that we weren't expecting Dallas to be this hype. Not that it's a bad tournament or anything, it's just difficult to be the one that follows up the major. But something in that Dallas era must have been different. We got some incredible highlights, a huge shift in the power rankings, and videos of Twist being a real one, signing autographs for 4+ hours. And yes, yet another Nico Deagle whiff on Nuke.
Nico from Warehouse spots one not looking the right way, and something about Nuke and Deagles and behind the headshots. Nico doesn't really work all the time.
But like I said at the start, all of these things pale in comparison to the individual performance we got from Ence's stand-in, Snax. Now, I know most of you already know who Snax is by now, but for those of you in our audience who don't, I think you need a refresher. Janusz Snax Pogrzelski is a Polish CSGO player who is most famously a part of that now legendary Virtus.pl roster. He's a major winner, has been on the HLTV top 20 4 times, and is responsible for some of CSGO's most iconic plays.
To just Snax. Does find one.
Oh, no.
Let's not leave him out of this. The Big Apple, and Snax is hungry. He's got 1 kill already on the USP. Low HP as well on Guardian and Flamey. He's trying to bait them out, trying to get them into one-on-ones as he dances back and forth between the box. What a shot on Simple! Oh, Guardian, bye-bye! And it's on to Flamey. He's tapped it. Flamey's got a big... What in God's name is that from Snax? Unbelievable!
Now, since that roster disbanded, Snax's time in the sun has mostly come to an end. He did still remain competitive for a few years after 2019 by jumping between different Polish rosters. But ever since the start of 2022, Snax has mostly been playing with random stacks and open qualifiers. That was until IEM Dallas rolled around. You see, Ence, who have been playing great recently, would unfortunately find themselves down a man when Spinx ran into visa troubles. Luckily for Ence, they were able to secure Snax for the tourney just a few days before it started. Now, it is very important to point out that Spinx is arguably one of the most consistent players on Ence, so Snax filling in for him was more of a fun nostalgia trip for the community than anything else. What we weren't expecting was a Fallen's Last Dance level return to form from the Polish powerhouse. I mean, this guy put on a clinic.
So it's on to just Snax solo as Brokey is able to get the plant down. Carrington was not expecting Snax from that angle at all, and Brokey has a very winnable round ahead of him now. Works his way forward onto the site, but Brokey... Oh, he just gets deleted, Snax!
That's vintage from Snax.
Once again, we ask for more from Snax. Sets himself on the line. Did Twist spot him out? It doesn't matter. A headshot, and King Snax will not be denied.
He's over the top of him. Good night, Snax. We'll send him to sleep.
Hell, he was even the top-rated player against Furia, the most unpredictable team of the tournament, and FaZe, the literal best team in the world. Ence were on fire, and Snax looked like he set back the clock at least 6 years. People couldn't help but chime in on his performance. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Didn't we just release a video about how JKS was the greatest stand-in performance of all time? Well, yes, we did. And we stand by it. After all, JKS helped FaZe win IEM Katowice, and despite Snax's best efforts and being the top performer, he couldn't make it happen for Ence.
Everything about this event has been for Cloud9 ever since that victory over FaZe. We knew it would propel them to new heights, and Cloud9, they are your Dallas champions.
But let's just say if Ence did defeat Cloud9, well then our video would be wrong. Now, speaking of Cloud9, we do need to bring attention to their brilliant run. Despite falling to the lower bracket, C9 dominated their way back to the grand finals and proved everybody that they were still very much the real deal. The only thing that really put a damper on C9's win was an oddly controversial trophy lift. You see, Jack, the CEO of Cloud9, took to the stage to celebrate with his CSGO roster the moment they won. Not exactly what you'd call weird, but Jack doesn't have the greatest reputation in the CSGO community, so it did rub some people the wrong way. Now, what sent some people over the edge is the fact that Jack lifted the trophy before anyone else on the team.
And they even want Jack to go for the trophy. IEM champions, Cloud9 in Dallas.
Yes, to be fair to Jack, the players did insist for him to raise the trophy. But in my opinion, if you're the CEO and you're going on stage, you're putting them in a weird position. Jack is largely responsible for the team having an org to play under in the first place, so I don't really blame anyone if they happen to infer some type of savior complex going on. On top of that, there are some people that think that Jack only cares about the CSGO community when his team wins, so him swooping in can seem a little tone deaf. But don't let this weird moment distract you from the fact that C9 deserves your attention and respect. Moving on from that drama, there's actually a few other storylines worth mentioning. Most importantly, that Vitality, G2, and Team Liquid are continuing to trend downwards. Yes, FaZe did slip up, but they're coming off a major win. And Na'Vi, I mean, they weren't even there, so I think those two teams are safe. As for the rest of the big hitters, well, it seems like some changes are probably on the horizon if they want to salvage the rest of the year. That being said, there is one potential bright side to this ongoing narrative. With the so-called established org struggling and Snax giving us the performance that he did, who knows? Maybe we'll start to see more Last Dance style squads pop up closer to the Rio Major. I don't want to speak for you guys, but I personally would be very excited for CSGO to enter its renaissance era. But I shuffled it. I'm putting all my spirit into these cards. And you received, what is this, the 9? No, the 10 of swords. It's basically a guy stabbed 10 times, so he stabbed in the back. I'm sure you'll be fine.